Hey guys, welcome to my podcast. We got Kevin over here again.
Hello.
Hi. We are going to continue the questions that we have. These are questions that I have from clients that it's good knowledge too to always ask these questions and be aware of it. So
Definitely.
what you got, Kevin?
All right. So just finishing up on what we got from the
Yeah,
last episode. So we were about to get into gifted funds. Do we pay taxes on gifted funds?
So if mom, dad, brother, or sister are going to gift you money, yes.
Immediate family.
Immediate family. Yes, there are taxes. 9 out of 10 times I always advise the clients, they always ask me, hey, how much taxes do I have to pay on it? Or do I pay taxes on it and stuff like that? I'm not a CPA, but typically after $17,000 of gifted funds, you do pay taxes on it.
Okay. After 17,000?
After 17,000.
Okay.
But nowadays you only need like 20,000. So, 17,000, you save up like 4,000, you got yourself a home. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But yes, after $17,000, yes, you do have to pay taxes on it for gifted funds.
Okay. And that's only immediate family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Immediate family.
And
Mom, dad, brother,
And is that
sister.
because only immediate family can give you gifted funds?
Correct.
Okay.
On an FHA loan or a loan product, it's immediate family only.
Okay, got it. It's funny that you said I'm not a CPA because we used to have to say that at the bank all the time.
Yeah, because you know how it is. Like you tell somebody one thing, like, well, my loan officer, no, I'm not a CPA. And then it's like, I always tell like, well, and then I have clients, this is a famous one. My CPA or my tax person told me, your tax person ain't no damn loan officer. Like, no, each person has a role, right? I'm not a CPA. I'm not, sometimes I'm a therapist, but, that type of stuff, you got to speak to each individual, whatever case it is. If you speak to a CPA or, like the famous one is my tax person told me this. Listen, tell your tax person to just do your taxes and then bring it to me and then I'll review them. And
Right.
that's it. We go from there.
Yeah, everybody has their role for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in other words, yes, you do have to pay taxes on gifted funds.
Okay. The down payment assistance program. How would that work? The down payment assistance program. I know we've talked about it a little bit on like Instagram, like we made a little reel for it. But as far as like maybe a little bit more on how exactly somebody could maybe get into the down payment assistance program.
So down payment assistance is beautiful, right? I get free money. It's not free money.
Nothing's free money.
I know nothing's free. Nothing's free, right? So the way down payment assistance works is there's a couple of things that come into play. First, your credit score has to apply, right? Your credit score has to be a par. Then your debt to income ratio is super huge on down payment assistance. The reason why it's super huge is because, yes, it's down payment assistance. They give you down payment assistance, but guess what? You got to pay that back. So what happens is the down payment assistance sometimes creates a second lien. It's like a piggyback. Mm-hmm. It says, hey, here, I'll give you that $7,000 or $10,000 for your down payment assistance, but we're going to tag it on there as a sometimes 1% or something towards incorporated in your monthly payment on the loan.
Right. So it'll be on your mortgage payment.
Correct. Pretty much you're going to pay. So what happens is then you're already 100% vested into the loan. And then if you want to go refinance in the future, or if you want to go sell your home, guess what? You got to pay that $10,000 back before you have any equity on that home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
Now, there are down payment assistance programs where you do not have to pay that back. Okay. However, the interest rate is sky high on that.
Right. They're going to make it somewhere.
Correct. Right. So yeah, fine. We'll give you down payment assistance program, but guess what? The rate's going to be super sky high. So what happens if, well, some people are like, hey, I don't care. I'll refinance in the future. Excellent. But what happens is the higher your rate goes, what else goes higher? Your debt to income ratio. Now you don't qualify.
Mm.
So I always advise, if you have a 401k, or if you have investments, or if you have mom, dad, brother, sister, Pepito somewhere down the street who can gift you funds, get gifted funds, or cash out on your 401k or your IRA, whatever the case is, and then go ahead and put the down payment like this. You walk in with a little bit of equity on your property. You have no ties or second liens or anything the case is. And then you can refinance always simple in the future.
It's funny you said Pepito because I have a cousin. His name is Jose, so I don't know why that's...
They call him Pepe.
Yeah, but whatever.
He lives in Hialeah?
No. So he'll probably never see this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send it to him. Okay, so what advice, because I know you mentioned that you just had a new real estate agent reach out to you. So what advice would you have for a new real estate agent, somebody who's just getting in, somebody who just got their license, just getting into this?
So I had two real estate agents reach out to me. LBO, I got you. Trust me. So the best advice is definitely to build your team. Okay? Build your team. If you can get with a loan officer or a mortgage broker, you're going to go through so many before you figure out which one works best for you, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to trust them. You got to be able to date them for a little bit, figure it out. But build your team. Have a title person, have a mortgage representative, and then you have your own broker where you carry your license with. You have to have, that's a main key person that you need to have that relationship with. And then from there, you start branching out. Then you have your inspector. Then you have your insurance person that you want to kind of go to here and there and all those type of things. But most importantly, you need to build your team, and you need to date your team too. Go into like a dating circle, see which loan officers, just not one loan officer just because you know them and this and that. You want to be able to have a couple of loan officers or mortgage brokers, a couple of inspectors. You know, I got a Miami-Dade, a Broward, and this and that, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's super important for a real estate agent. And please know this is not quick money. It is not. It is not like I'm going to be on a high rise in Miami like that. No. Sorry. You got to hustle. You got to start off somewhere. You got to be able to just, if this is what you want to do, just got to hustle, but have your team with you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's super important for real estate agents, is just know what you need to look for and ask questions. Just ask. Hey, I just got licensed. Can you help me figure this out? No problem.
Yeah.
You know? So now the ones that don't help you out, you know.
Not to work with them.
Exactly. The ones that are going to take the time to answer the phone, or, hey, answer a couple of questions or take a call. I had one real estate agent that called me like 8 p.m. last night. I was like, I got you. Call me. And we talked, and we all were able to get a lead out for that, right?
Yeah.
So super important. Just build your team, know who's there for you, have your eyes, ears open, and just ask questions.
Yeah, that's important, I think, in anything too.
Yeah. Like, you got to build your team, right? That's like super important.
Yeah.
Like, you got to know who your team, you got your, you know, you got your little boo thing next to you, you know, stuff like that. You know, so it's super important to have that team.
Yeah. So the last question, and I think, you know, people hear this term thrown out and don't really get it, because you hear points and you usually think about like sports.
Right.
You know, like how many points
shots,
did Jimmy Butler score last night?
Yeah.
So when people talk about points on a mortgage, what are they referring to?
Yeah. So I have a client, you know, and it's perfectly, I'm so happy that they actually ask these questions, because they already assume. We send out something called a loan estimate. On the loan estimate, it specifies and states points, right? Now, they always say, well, how do we pay your fees? Well, no, my fees, there is no fees for me. However, the point system comes into place is on the rate. That's what points are.
Yeah.
And we'll post like a screenshot of what it's supposed to look like. So let's say, for example, somebody says, well, I want a 6.6% rate. Now there's a bracket, right? It says now 6% rate. So 6% rate today is going to cost you $7,000. That's the points. Okay. So it's a percentage based on the loan amount that's costing for the rate.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, if a 6% is going to be costing $7,000, those are not my fees. That's the buy down for the rate. That's the points that you will have to pay to get that rate. But then a 6.25 is probably costing $3,000. That's how volatile the market is, right? So it's costing $3,000. And there it goes to that monthly payment we were discussing earlier. It says it's only a $30 a month difference. Why would you pay $7,000 to get a 6% when a 6.25 is costing $3,000?
Right.
Just to save $30 a month? You're not going to make that in less than 7 years back.
Yeah.
So that's the points. Okay, that's a point system. It's all dependent on the market news that we post every day. It's all dependent on that. Okay, so it's very volatile, but definitely ask, hey, how much is this costing? How much is that costing? How many points is a 6.5 or a 6.25? Whatever the case may be. Okay, so that is what points are mostly.
So it's typically a percentage.
Yeah.
Percentage
It's a percentage of the principal amount, which is the principal amount, the loan amount. Sorry,
Right.
The loan amount is after your down payment.
Yeah.
So that's a percentage. That's a cost to the rate is, you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah. A percentage of what the loan is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's a percentage amount of what the loan is. We got more?
No, that was the last one.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a situation that I had recently too, right? There is this condominium. Okay. I know we've discussed it in the past before, like condominiums.
Love condos.
I know, but they're the worst to get financing for, right? So there was a condominium down in Key West, right? And what happens is condominiums, they have to meet a certain reserve requirement, and they have to have a certain insurance policy in place. This particular condominium did not. It did not. The minimum requirement to have reserves in place is 10%. And it's for the buyer's own benefit. If, God forbid, a hurricane came, something came, does the building have enough money in reserves to rebuild? In this case, they didn't.
Yeah.
So I was about to lose this deal. We're all on the fence. We're like, well, so the lender will allow you, the lender will still finance you, but in this case, it's going to be now a 20%.
20%. That's what happened with, I don't know if you remember
the condo,
friend.
your
Yes.
friend. Yeah.
They didn't have the budget for this year, so they didn't know what was going on, so they had to put 20%
Right. So this was a great piece of property for this buyer, is because it was 2 units in one kind of thing. He could rent out the bottom and have the top. So he wasn't going to try to let that go. So what we did was something called a piggyback loan. Okay. You have to vest 10% of your own money, which is now your down payment, because we went from 5 to 10. Now we went to 20, right? So this guy's like, well, I don't have 20% down on this purchase price.
Right.
So we're like, okay, cool. You would have to put 10% down, but the bank will go ahead and lend you the other 10% down, which is a piggyback loan. Okay. So later in the future, he can refinance, whatever the case may be, to go ahead. But his monthly payment actually came out to be less with having a piggyback loan at 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So initially he has a home equity line of credit, and now he has a regular conventional loan because he needed to accommodate. But it works out for him. Why? Because he's able to rent out the bottom unit and then go ahead and live on the top.
Yeah, and it's Key West. He's not going to be scrambling for renters.
Yeah. So it works out for him. But in this case, his monthly payment was way less. So it was like, okay, finally. So we figured it out. It was so crazy. It was so sketchy. I mean, not sketchy, but scary. Sorry. it was scary because he's into, he's like, well, this building doesn't have the budget. The benefit here is that the building was working on a project where they were putting hurricane impact windows and stuff like that. So they were going to eventually have their reserves in place.
Yeah.
But finally, we got the piggyback loan. He went along with it. He's so happy. So it's just like, it did take a while to close because of the situation, but yeah, I had to pat myself on the back for that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was like the success story of the month, that one.
And I think that also ties into what you were saying with, advice, good advice. I think that's good advice for a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Somebody who's first just getting into it. Just because a deal hits a snag in the road or a bump in the road doesn't mean that it's done. You got to work for it and fight for it. And like you said, building a team and having more than just you sitting there racking your brain thinking about it. If you've got a loan officer or a title, these people have done it before and dealt with these situations. So
yeah, and it goes back into saying too, there's so many loan products out there. You gotta be able to be a risk taker to get into something like that, right? A lot of people don't take risk. It works out fine for him. It's a structured 30-year fixed loan. It has nothing. There is no balloon. There's no principal. Nothing like that. You can always refinance in the future and put it into a full, combine the loans together, and then he's good,
Yeah.
So that was my pat on the back for that month. That was a good one. It was a tough one, but we got it done.
That's all that matters.
But yeah, definitely these questions are good, and we need to keep them coming because these are like live questions that people do ask, and I think it's really good for the consumer out there to get these questions. So keep them coming, guys.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any more questions, please feel free to send me a DM, give me a call. I'll be Kevin and I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you for...
I'll ask them.
Yeah.
She'll answer them.
I'll answer them. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to click the link on my bio and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye, Kevin.
Bye.
Sorry.